Yeah, how you doing? I'm Reverend G. Uh, this thing with the border crossers and the criminals and the crime that's happening in our country, and all these folks that come in making a burden on the taxpayer and a threat to the seniors and things like that is a pretty deep subject. You know, the Biden administration invited all these people over here, and the money that they offered didn't belong to them. It belongs to you, the United States taxpayer. And we have legal avenues for people to come into the country and things like that. But they just broke through. They just opened it up. Everybody stopped the ICE and Border Patrol and everybody from stopping the overflow of people coming into our states and towns and things like that. And it's just bad news. And Mr. Trump's going to be inaugurated here soon, and he's hired this guy Tom. He's pretty radical, and he's serious about what he wants to do. And anybody out there listening that can talk to anybody, it's best not to get it started because they're going to bring the military, and they're going to go around and gather up people whether you want to go or not. We all know the law. We all know how the law works. We got prisons full of people that do and don't belong in there because of the way this law works. And my suggestion to hold this thing is to Donald Trump and Elon Musk and Robert Kennedy and the Surgeon General and the Energy Department in D.C. and environmental is to offer a chance to these people. Go through the country and gather up all the criminals and elements that we know that exist. We know who they are, where they are, what they're doing, this and that we know. And yeah, okay, gather them up. The folks that really want to be in this country should actually head back to the border. I know Texas and Arizona and California and everybody there saying, oh no, we can't handle these people. But there's one light at the end of that tunnel that can really satisfy everybody. We need the wall built. Okay, that's one thing. And then as the military goes around here and gathers up all these 22 million, 23 million people that came into this country, they could take them back to that border and actually put them to work. The good people, the ones that aren't starting trouble, they just really want to come into the country and be an asset to our country. And they can build farms, they can build the wall, they can plow fields. I have statistics that there's millions of acres of land that can be farmed all along the border. And we do have a law of eminent domain, and we can possess a little bit of the property along that border to start farms. That would give the people that are in the country that are trying to get in here, that are legitimate, a job to do. They can grow our food. The weather's warm down there all the time, so vegetables and fruit and all that kind of asset in the agriculture can be facilitated in those lands. It would be great. It would put people to work, truck drivers, everybody, office workers, healthcare workers, blue collar workers, laborers, everybody would go to work. And also the immigrants would have work to do where they can make a living until they get actually citizenship to the United States. I've done this research and it will work. And folks coming from other countries and want to cross the border, then they have something to do while they earn their way to citizenship. It's a win-win concept at that border. We would get everything done within the year, and next year we'll be flooded with so much food we won't be able to eat it. And that's only one concept. Now, on the energy aspect of this thing and the environment and stuff like that, we're using fossil fuels and we're building glass fields and windmills, and just a waste of time. It's a waste of time. Geothermal energy is probably the best solution, along with hydro electric energy, would be to use those assets to power the country. And geothermal energy is one of the best assets we have. We can power everything right off of Yellowstone itself, or the deserts in California and Arizona and things like that. We can extract that heat. If there's not enough, then we can use the refrigeration concept, using the gases to produce enough heat to create steam to run these turbines instead of these fossil fuels and everything like that. Because all we're doing is digging up the earth. They're ruining everything with this fracking and stuff like that. But we need oil, we need gas, and we need coal for right now and everything like that. So it'll be a good asset to get started on this concept that I'm thinking about. These generators have been made, turbines and power stations have been made long before any of us were ever born. And the biggest example I can give you right off the top of my head would be Sicily in Rome. And they've been doing this stuff since before the 1900s. And in 1904, their facility was up and running. It's been running pretty much ever since. Basically no maintenance, basically no carbon footprint, just from geothermal energy. Now, in Yellowstone, well, let's start with Roosevelt. He set all this land aside for the future. Well, it's the future now. And people need a place to spread out. They're all bunched up into cities and small towns like little kittens, all bundled up, you know what I mean? And there's millions and millions of acres belong to the government that are completely freaking adequate for building farms and homes and things like that. Don't have to take all of it. The important sites, the beautiful views, things like that can be kept. Yellowstone ground. There's enough heat in that ground to power a turbine. And you have those prairies and stuff where the buffalo eat and the bears run and everything like that. It's all grassland, things like that. Run a vein through it, run water through it, or glyco, or something like that will extract heat and bring it down into civilization and bring it to a power plant. The Hoover Dam is beautiful. People come from all over the world to go see that place. And that's a natural resource, no footprint, carbon footprint, nothing like that. And it's even dangerous because the dam can break. Yellowstone and places like that, we never know what's going to happen. That place has been sitting dormant for a million years. And it has some activity, but there's a lot of energy in that ground. The temperatures are just right for geothermal energy, and you don't have to mess with the integrity of the parks at all doing this. You need a nice looking facility, a tourist attraction that people can come see this fantastic idea, and it would put everybody to work in every freaking state, every trade skill, healthcare, clerical workers, businessmen, truck drivers, you name it, to retrofit this system into our existing grid. Once we get it into the existing grid, then we can work on putting it underground, the electric wiring and things like that, transformer to transformer, and feed it to each house where every house is electric instead of having these carbon fuels in the houses. I worked in the HVAC field for probably 20 years. And the old systems in there, the flues, the heat exchanges in the furnaces and the hot water heaters and things like that, they go bad, they rust, people live in them for 10, 20 years and don't even realize these things are leaking carbon monoxide into their houses, and it causes phenomenal health issues and risk. and even some cases in death in COPD and things like that. People with chronic lung diseases and stuff like that, and even young people living in that for years and years. Say you buy a house, it's got a furnace in it, it lasts for 25 years or more, and the heat exchange getting worse and worse and worse, and it's leaking up into your house, and you're breathing even small amounts of carbon dioxide over a period of years. It's going to affect your lungs and destroy you. And that's where the healthcare system costs so much, because of the old way. And we can change that. But Trump can't do all this by himself. He needs us. He needs every working body on the continent to help him implement this kind of stuff, and even make it aware of it to everyone in the world, because the Ring of Fire is nothing but a power source on this earth. And Nikola Tesla, it was part of his concept. Hydroelectric was also part of his concept with Niagara Falls and things like that, and it can be implemented all over the world and put people to work. God, the potential. And I'd like everybody to keep following me, because I want to give statistics. We're talking about millions and millions of jobs from day one that he sits down on that desk and strikes that pen. And it can start right then and there. It's a job for every human being on the planet to make it a sustainable living, and also be an adequate asset to our country. And you don't have to be a PhD college scholar or anything like that to understand what I'm trying to say. This stuff is very, very possible. And it's possible as long as everyone agrees. And it will stop the crime, it will stop the poverty, it will stop the hunger, the health problems with people, everything else. It will stop it. Happy Thanksgiving. My name's Reverend G. Please reply. Give me some of your ideas on this. All geothermal technicians and things like that, please get involved. Let's talk about it. I'll give you my statistics. You give me your understanding of what I'm trying to say, because y'all have to agree with me. Both concepts for the border and this energy system will work. We don't need nuclear energy. We don't need that. We can cut that footprint out, have enough energy to keep world peace against the haters and things like that. And it would almost completely eliminate the waste that they're burying in the grounds and things like that, that who knows when those systems will break down and release that radiation into our atmosphere and into our air and lands and kill everybody. And basically, you got to be hardcore nowadays. You got to think about things properly. You got to make the right decisions. It's your family and your kids that you're making in this world is going to have to live in whatever we do today. So, yeah, I'll be back. Peace, love, and happiness.